What's up, y'all? It's TruthTiger. I'm coming back to y'all with another video. And today I'm going to talk about they act like they never did anything wrong. They claim they never did anything wrong. And when I say they, I'm referring to narcissists. I'm referring to narcissistic parents, toxic people, people who have done us wrong. And I'm just referring to this general pattern of gaslighting that manipulative people will use. And it'll go like this. You'll bring up past issues. You'll bring up ways that they have mistreated you in the past. And when you bring this stuff to them, they'll say it wasn't a problem, it never happened, it wasn't a big deal, you're exaggerating. Or they'll maybe say, why can't you just forgive me and move on? Why can't you just move on? And any kind of people who are demanding forgiveness, that's not true forgiveness. Someone has to genuinely be like, I'm genuinely sorry, I'm going to change my stuff up, and they got to really be trying to actually change their stuff up and like do better by you. And these people who are demanding forgiveness or saying, oh, why can't you just let it go? It's not a big deal. Why can't you just forget about it? They'll say stuff like that. They really will. Or they'll try to say, like, other people have it worse. Other people have worse marriages. Other people have had worse childhoods. Other people have had worse friends. You're lucky you had what you had. Especially freaking narcissistic parents. They love that one. You're so lucky you had what you had, You're so lucky you had us. Weren't you so fortunate you weren't starving to death in a third world country or whatever? They'll use these false comparisons. And all this stuff is about lack of morality. If I go on the street and I beat someone up and I rob them, and when they're like, hey, why'd you beat me up and take my wallet? I'm like, there's people out there that get killed. There's people out there that get their whole house stolen. There's people out there who get stabbed. I didn't do any of that to you. I just hit you, You're being a baby. You're being a baby. There's wars around the world where people are getting shot. I just punched you in the face and took your wallet. Toughen up. Not a big deal, bro. If I'm doing that, it's like, is that going to hold up in court? No, because that is fake morality. That's just like moral relativism where you're just changing up what's good and what's evil based upon what suits you good. And that is what these gaslighters do. That's what they're like, And really, it's very, very nuts. And do not accept these claims that they try to say. Don't accept these false equivalencies that they try to bring up. It is illogical, it is immoral, and it's just them trying to skate accountability. They are trying to gaslight you so that they do not have to be accountable for their actions. And they don't have to admit that they have to self-reflect, that they need to make changes, that they could have done much better by you in situations in the past. But no, they act like it's not a big deal. They claim that they did nothing wrong. I've heard my parents say, oh, we were great parents. We were so amazing, blah, blah, blah. And, look, they're going to sell you a counterfeit version. They're going to sell you a fake bill of goods. They're going to hype things up and say, oh, our family's so great. We love you so much. Ba-da-da-da. You're going to say the relationship is so great. We love each other so much. Look at all our pictures from the vacation we took. We're going to put them up everywhere. Look at these pictures we took. Aren't we so great? Aren't we so happy? Or they're going to say, this is such a good friendship. We're such bros. We're so great. We're whatever. We're awesome. Blah, blah, blah. Look at how much fun we had. When meanwhile, it's a bunch of BS going on behind the scenes. Oh, we took a girls' trip together. It's the sisterhood of the traveling pants. Whatever it is with these people, whatever the situation is, they're trying to like love bomb and like glaze it up and butter it up and act like it's so big and amazing when it's not. And when people are actually cool and a situation's actually cool, people don't have to be hyping it up constantly and repeating it constantly. If you actually love someone, or if your parents actually loved you or whatever, they would not need to have this constant song and dance of, don't we love each other so much? Or if a romantic relationship was actually good and people were actually treating each other right there, they wouldn't have to make a big hype job and a big hype show about how their marriage or relationship is so great. Same with the friends. They would not have to make a big hype job about how they have such a good friendship. I've never had a good friend where I had to be, oh wow, aren't we such good friends? Look at how tight we are. Look at what bros we are. We're such good friends. We're such good pals. No, because that is trying to cover up the truth. There is an uncomfortable truth underneath that they do not want discovered. So they start to just like have this fake BS. They do. And the thing is like, part of that fake BS can be like sentimentality and seeing things through rose-colored glasses and having this nostalgia. You know, they'll try to use that, especially parents, when it comes to childhood. There's a lot of problems. They'll say, aren't we so nostalgic about that? Wasn't that so fun? Didn't we have such a good time? Wasn't it awesome? And they'll do this like rose-colored glasses thing where they will only see the few good times and not see the big mountain of bad times. And they're doing this very intentionally. They're not just trying to be nice or positive or whatever. They're trying to cover up all their dirt. They're trying to cover up all the freaking crappy ways they treated you. They're trying to cover up all the shit they did. Which is why they do this big rose-colored glasses thing, and oh my gosh, let's talk about that family vacation we took. Or if it's a couple, oh, our honeymoon, our wedding, our honeymoon, the wedding. What about right now? What's happening right now, you know? And that's another thing. When there's problems in the present that are happening right now, to latch on to one good moment in the past and make a big hype show about it, make a big show about it, talk about how great it was, you know, and you got to see through all this stuff because they have like fake love. It's the devil's love. It's this fake love that they have, which is all about putting on performances and making demonstrations and making some big show and telling the whole neighborhood and making all these social media posts and making up a big show, a big projection, a big illusion. Make a big illusion to fool everybody into thinking things are great. And they'll try to fool you too, you know. With their freaking left hand, they're going to slap you across the face. They're going to slap you across the face with their left hand. But then with their right hand, they're going to pat you on the back and, you know, and say, oh, it's great, it's good. Don't even buy it, you know, because if they were really cool, both hands would be good, you know, both hands would be cool. Both hands would be embracing you. But no, that's how they are. Like, for real, they're very, very fake, you know, they really are. And they don't want to accept the fact that they are flawed. They don't want to accept the fact that they are screwed up. They don't want to accept the fact that they have screwed up. One of the hard things I've had to do in my life is accept that I have made mistakes. I have said the wrong things, done the wrong things, wasted potential, whatever. I've had to look myself in the mirror and you go, you know what? I have flaws. I have my own problems I got to work on. They cannot do that. They are terrified of that. That's the last thing in the world they want to do, and they don't want to even start by accepting it or admitting it. And they want to hide and run away from it as much as possible. So they do all this rose-colored glasses and all this propaganda. You know, in North Korea, Kim Jong-un or whatever, he'll put up all this stuff and say North Korea's great, oh, the people are great, everyone has so much food, blah, 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 no one's starving, everything's awesome. It's the same crap that dictators do, that these dumb freaking narcissists and manipulators and these people with low morals and low ethics do. And I'm telling y'all that do not be deceived by that. Don't buy into that lie. Walk away from those kind of people. And I'm telling y'all, there is true love from God above. There's true love in the universe. But this world is a very hateful place, and it has a lot of hateful people. And there are a lot of hateful deceivers who will do you wrong and then act like nothing bad even happened. And it wasn't a big deal. And they'll use all these all this mental gymnastics, all this flawed logic, and all this fake morality to try to make it seem like it was great and it was okay and it was awesome when it wasn't. So don't buy into their lies. Don't buy into their BS. When they say that it was so nice and so fun, no. When they claim that, oh, they did nothing wrong and they were so great and you're overreacting, don't even buy into that. They will also try to paint you as the bad guy. They will try to find the one mistake you made and the one time you weren't perfect, and they will go crazy on it. They'll say, you're bad. You're bad. You left a dish in the sink once. You're bad. You're terrible. You had one argument with me that one time. You're bad. You're terrible. And they'll try to make you into the bad guy. And they could do this thing where, like, how dare you even bring that up? How dare you even say that? How dare you even talk about that? I've heard that one too. They get mad and defensive and they do the how dare you. They're just hiding behind a shield of freaking fake anger. And underneath that anger, they're scared. Underneath that anger, they are terrified that their facade of lies and manipulation is going to fall down. And you got to stand up to that, and you got to stand against that, and you got to say no to that and no to those kind of people. There's a lot of them will do that thing like, you're the bad guy and it's your fault. Actually, you were mean, you were bad, and they'll try to spread rumors and they'll try to make this whole perception, especially if they can find other people who are willing to enable them. They'll talk crap about these other people, and they won't even say why. They'll just do this vague, he's a problem, she's a problem. If they're a narcissistic parent, they'll go to other flying monkeys and stuff, and they'll go, my son's a problem. My daughter is a problem. There's problems there. He's difficult. She's difficult. But they will not say why. They'll just go on and on about how it's difficult and it's tough and it's hard. They'll talk, oh, my relationship is so hard. My marriage is so hard. It's so tough to get along with them. But they won't say why. But people will buy into this BS. And then they'll try to get you branded as some bad guy. And I'm telling you, that's why you got to just walk away from these people, leave, don't interact with them. Doesn't matter what they were to you. They did not love you the way they should have loved you. They were not good to you the way they should have been good to you. They were not genuine, solid people. They were dishonest. They were manipulative. They gaslit. Walk away. Say, bye-bye. Not going to have this here. Nope. And, for real, like, if friends start to do that, just be like, not hanging out with y'all anymore. Bye. You got to be willing to walk away. You have to be willing to walk away from these kind of people and from this kind of BS. And I'm telling you, like, if you run into a conflict with someone, if you have a disagreement with someone, and the first thing they go to is this kind of stuff where, you're misunderstanding things, you're actually the bad guy, what I said to you wasn't, if they're going to that, that's a definite big red flag to know that, okay, this is the wrong kind of person for me. If they're not willing to take ownership and actually talk things out, no, So just be on the lookout for that stuff and do not allow people that roll like that into your life. Don't be rocking with people like that. Don't be interacting with them, and don't be doing it. So yeah, I'm going to end this one here. Thank you all so much for watching. Much love. God bless. Y'all are awesome. Thanks for supporting the community, supporting me. We're building, we're healing, we're growing all together. Thank you all so much. I am out.